Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
They got him.
They got him alive?
Yeah.
That's him yelling. Unfortunately. He lived?
Unfortunately, as of now.
What the hell?
I got him.
After several hours, we were able to eventually get the suspect to give himself up and come out and surrender to us. At this point, we don't know exactly who he is. He has been transported to a hospital for some evaluations. As far as whether or not it's going to take a while for this area to clear out, we have a crime scene that we are currently having to deal with, and so it'll be some time before we're able to actually clear the scene. We get dispatched out here on a disturbance call. Not exactly clear what the disturbance is. When the officers get out here, they start taking gunfire, and unfortunately one of our officers was struck. Transported to Medical City Plano, and that's where he was pronounced. It's still kind of evolving. We haven't exactly had time to sit down and talk to everyone that was involved and everything that may have taken place, so that's going to take us some time. But for the time being, we are going to have the apartment where he was at secured. It will be treated as a crime scene. The rest of the apartment complex will be opened back up, but it's going to take us some time before we actually clear from the apartment that he was in. We have one more victim, a civilian, and his identity is not yet been positively made. And once we do that and have the opportunity to contact his next of kin, then we will release his information.
So right now the two deceased are the civilian and then your officer, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Any other injuries?
I don't know for sure. Like I say, we've got a debrief with a lot of the guys that were out there. A lot of them have made their way to the hospital to be with the officer's family and, of course, the rest of our family. They're at the hospital during this time, and so it's going to take us a little while before we're able to actually get a clearer picture of what all transpired out here tonight.
It's a shame. That's the only word I have for it. It's an absolute shame. Like I said, these people do everything they can to protect us, to protect and to serve, as their motto says. And and this is the thanks they get. It's unacceptable. It's not about me. It has nothing to do with what it does for me. It's honoring the officers, not just the deceased one from last night or the deceased in the past, but all officers, past, present, and future. Like one thing to always know is that it's never about the one individual, as right now is for me. It's about the officers, 100%.
Before bloody night in Richardson, suspect in cop slaying was best of friends with second victim. Filed under crime at 15 hours ago. Share Facebook, Twitter, email. Print this story. Default profile image written by Nahid Rajwani Julieta Chiquillo Claire Baylor. The Richardson apartment that Rene Gomez shared with his mother was his friend's go-to hangout, where cookouts and kicking back were common. Rene Gomez, Facebook. Rene Gomez, Facebook. It's one of those friends who's accused of turning the two-bedroom apartment into a bloody crime scene Wednesday. By the end of the night, Gomez and Richardson police officer David Sherrard were dead and Brandon McCall was in handcuffs. McCall, 26, is charged with capital murder of a police officer. He does not face charges in Gomez's death. The shootings left many, including those who knew both McCall and Gomez, wondering how things went so wrong. Gomez, 30, grew up in North Texas and was a cheerful and generous soul, said Aaron Lithmeeksy, a friend. He made a living by delivering Chinese food, while his mother worked at Walmart. The pair were known to be gracious hosts and organized dinners often for his friends, who dotingly called his mother Mom or Mama. They had taken McCall in as a house guest because he had nowhere else to live, Lithmeeksy said. Rene Gomez and his mother, referred to as Mama by her son's doting friends. Rene Gomez and his mother, referred to as Mama by her son's doting friends. Officer David Sherrard, Richardson Police Department. Officer David Sherrard, Richardson Police Department. Gomez's mother wasn't home when officers arrived at the apartment. She later learned that Gomez and McCall had been arguing before police were called, Lithmeeksy said. Authorities haven't publicly said what the argument was over or who they believe shot Gomez. Officers found him wounded as they approached the apartment. Police say McCall shot Sherrard, a 13-year police veteran, as the officer tried to enter the apartment. The 37-year-old officer, a husband and father of two, was later pronounced dead at Medical City Plano. He's the first Richardson officer in the city's history to die in the line of duty. Retired California police officer Larry Powell delivers a wreath to the Richardson, Texas Police Headquarters on Thursday, February 8, 2018. Larry works for Restland Funeral Home as a fleet manager and is a longtime friend of the department. A Richardson police officer was fatally shot the night before at an apartment complex. A second person, 30-year-old Rene Gomez, who lived in the apartment complex, also died, police said. The suspect was identified Thursday as Brandon McCall. He is being held in the Collin County Jail on a charge of capital murder of a police officer. David Wu / staff photographer. Next. Police never got a chance to rescue Gomez. They said Thursday that McCall continued to fire at officers, preventing them from getting close. Brandon McCall, Collin County Jail. Brandon McCall, Collin County Jail. At first it was just a bunch of cops driving around and you couldn't see or hear much of anything, said Leslie Smith, who lives in the Breckenridge Point complex. But then it was just clack, 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 clack. And then cops are running around saying, bunker down. Bunker down. McCall was holed up in an apartment for several hours before surrendering about midnight. He turned down interview requests from media while in the Collin County Jail. The Plano Police Department will lead the murder investigation, Richardson Police Chief Jimmy Spivey said. Looking through the window of her daughter's second-floor bedroom, Smith sat on a nightstand and watched the standoff, frequently posting Snapchat videos to keep her friends and family updated. She was recording when authorities carried Sherrard to an ambulance. After hours of listening to police shouting commands at the gunman and the steady pop of gunshots, Smith recorded as the officers finally pulled McCall from the apartment about midnight. He was screaming and fighting the whole way down, she said. He was yelling, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, please. Her video shows law enforcement officers loading the man into an ambulance while he tried to pull away from them. It appears McCall struggled to keep a permanent address, hopping from one home to another but never staying long. He sometimes used friends' addresses in court filings even though the friends said he didn't live there. Jim Forrest, an uncle, said he and his wife had given McCall a place to stay at their Plano home so he could go to college, but they asked him to move out 3 years ago. McCall worked different jobs but couldn't keep one, Forrest said. He spent 2 years here, and he didn't do anything, Forrest said. I thought it'd help him if he got out on his own. Richland College confirmed that McCall was enrolled at one point, but a spokeswoman said she couldn't release more details because McCall had requested that his information be kept confidential under federal law protecting student records. McCall used his relative's Plano address when he registered as an insurance agent in New Jersey, according to records from that state. Suspect Brandon McCall, shortly after the standoff ended, Plano Police Department. Suspect Brandon McCall, shortly after the standoff ended, Plano Police Department. McCall was arrested in Garland twice for marijuana possession and once on suspicion of unlawful use of a vehicle between 2009 and 2010. It appears he was not formally charged in the latter case. For each of the drug offenses, a judge ordered 1-year probation, according to state records. In January 2016, he was charged in Richardson with drug possession and public intoxication after crashing on North Central Expressway. His blood alcohol level was almost twice the legal limit, police records said. An officer found cocaine and what appeared to be Xanax in his pockets. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 2 years of probation, which would have ended in 2019. Forrest said he didn't see McCall taking drugs and that he had caused no disturbances during his stay. He described McCall as a soft-spoken, reserved man who took care of his physique. He often lifted weights. The Plano resident learned about the allegations against his nephew Thursday afternoon. "I never dreamed he would do anything like that," Forrest said. Lithmeexy, Gomez's friend of 10 years, found out about the shooting while at work Thursday morning. He'd been at the apartment just a few months ago, grilling meat and vegetables on a hot plate, for a Friendsgiving dinner that Gomez and his mother hosted. "He was funny, he was caring," Lithmeexy said. "He was just always there for people." Maria Moncada, a bartender at Wizards Sports Cafe, said McCall and Gomez were always together. They visited the bar once or twice a week. Surrounded by other friends, they'd play pool and knock back Miller Lights. Gomez was the bubbly one, laughing and making jokes. McCall was quiet, calm. They just evened each other out, Moncada said. She stopped seeing the pair about a year ago, when they began hanging out at another bar. But the regulars at Wizards haven't forgotten about them. The news about the shooting trickled into the bar Wednesday night, leaving Moncada and others shocked and confused. "That's the scary part," she said. "They were best friends. Renee always offered everything to Brandon." Staff writer Dana Branham contributed to this report.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.